since we have first passage probability and first return probability, this one, Mij, is the expected first passage time. So again, this is time, okay, or the expected number of transitions, no, from I to J for the first time. So how many transitions will you have? How many changes, switches will you have before you finally reach state J from state I for the first time? Okay, so again, there are several possible ways to define Mij, but the formula for Mij, our working formula would be this one. Okay, as written here on the left side. It is, again, since we're talking about number of transitions or time, okay, take note that in our example earlier on the gas station, one transition is 1 week. Okay, so therefore, the average or expected time to get from state I to state J for the first time is also the same as the number of transitions needed to get to that state J. Okay, so take note that in our formula, we are actually again using an iterative formula to compute for Mij. So first, Mij exists only if states are recurrent. So meaning, uh, if we consider the two types of Markov chains that I mentioned earlier, ergodic and absorbing Markov chain, absorbing Markov chain will not have Mij calculations. Only ergodic Markov chains will have Mij calculations because ergodic Markov chains contain uh, all recurrent states. Okay, so Mij is equal to, of course, the minimum number of transition is 1. You can reach state I from state J, you can reach state J from state I for the first time, okay, after one transition. Okay, the minimum is 1. And then you add all the events, okay, wherein you don't get to state J in the middle. Okay, so this is just very much like the concept of the first passage and first return probability, where we take away from the total, we take away all those that pass through J for the first time in the middle. Okay, this time we have to only add all the transitions that do not involve J. Okay, so that's why K should not be equal to J when we add the number of transitions. So we are now counting the number of transitions in order to get to J for the first time, okay, from I. All right, so that is what the formula here means. So Mij by definition is the average time, or I can say the average number of transitions that it will take for the process to go from state I to state J for the first time. So here we're counting, measuring time and counting the number of transitions. Okay, again, just like the first passage probability earlier, wherein I told you that it makes sense to ask the question, what is the probability that an employee who is an assistant supervisor now will actually be production manager for the first time after 5 years? That's first passage probability. Okay, it is also uh, worthwhile to ask how much time will it take an assistant supervisor, okay, or how many years will it take an assistant supervisor on the average to be a production manager, okay? How much time on the average, okay? So therefore, that would now pertain to the average time it will take for process to go from state I to state J for the first time. So these are just some definitions, no? If MII simply means the average time it will take the process to return, okay, to return to itself, okay, for the first time. Okay, the average time that a process will return to itself for the first time. So if MII is in infinity, in other words, you are unable to calculate for the average time, then it means that you have a null recurrent state. But for Markov chains, this will never happen. Okay? This one will never happen for Markov chains. If MII is less than infinity, meaning it's a certain number, okay, you're able to calculate a certain number, then you have what you call a positive recurrent state. Okay? And ergodic Markov chains will have positive recurrent states all throughout. Right? So some more definitions. Uh, for finite Markov chains, either all transient states, or I mentioned this already. So for Markov chains, there are two types. Either you have all transient states and absorbing, or all positive recurrent states. So this one, you have to add either all transient states and absorbing states, or all positive recurrent states, referring to absorbing Markov chain and ergodic Markov chains. Okay, so remember I was mentioning about communication. If all states communicate, meaning all states are accessible to each other, like our example, gas station A to B, A to C, B to C, C to B, C to A, etc., that example of ours, if all states are accessible to each other, whether directly or indirectly, that means the states are communicating. That's the definition of communicating states. Okay, if all states communicate, then the Markov chain is said to be irreducible. Okay, unlike the example previously that we had, okay, we are able to reduce this chain, di ba? We are actually able to reduce that chain. But for Markov chains that communicate, then we say that it is irreducible. Now, in irreducible Markov chains, all states share the same periodicity property. Okay? And this periodicity property leads us to the next principle, which is periodic and aperiodic states. Okay? So periodic states are states that can recur only at certain epochs or periods t where t is greater than 1. So there are states in a transition matrix that is very obvious that the possibility that that state can recur will be within t periods only. Okay, so if t is greater than 1, then if it means that your transition matrix consists of states that are called periodic states. Whereas aperiodic states are states that have a period t is equal to 1, meaning states can recur within one period. So again, if you will look at our example earlier on the gas station, okay, A, B, and C, you will see that states could recur after one transition. And all of them, A, B, and C, could recur after one transition. And hence, we say that the period is t equal to 1. And therefore, we say that those states are actually both recurrent and aperiodic. Okay? So again, we say that they're recurrent because when you leave A, B, or C, there is a probability that you will return back to A, B, and C. Okay, that's the definition of recurrent state. And at the same time, based on the definition of aperiodic state, we see that it is defined as states having a period t equals 1. And period means that it is the length of time that a state would recur. Okay, so therefore, since in that example of gas station A, B, and C, all states A, B, and C could recur after one period, t equals 1, then they are also aperiodic states. Okay, so which lead us to ergodic states. Ergodic states, as I've said, no, ergodic Markov chains are consists of recurrent states that are aperiodic. So these are the two characteristic of ergodic Markov chains. The states of ergodic Markov chains, okay, are both recurrent and aperiodic. It means that all states communicate, all states are aperiodic, and all states are recurrent. Okay, and therefore steady state or long run probabilities are computed. To summarize, okay, to summarize, there are two types of Markov chain, as I've said, absorbing and ergodic. For absorbing Markov chain, it's a combination of transient and absorbing states. Okay, and then for ergodic Markov chains, the states that you have there are both aperiodic and recurrent. Okay. Let me see. Uh, Before I go to ergodic Markov chains with steady calculation of steady state probabilities, I think this is already the last. Uh, Let me first discuss this expected first passage time using this formula. Okay, so as you can see here, okay, let me just enlarge this a bit. Okay, so as you can see here, as you listen to this recording, I want you to be able to look at this example. This is a sample transition matrix where you have four states, 0, 1, 2, and 3. And assuming that the process is in state 3 right now, compute the expected time the process will be in state 0. So actually kulang tong tanong, no? The expected time the process will be in state 0 for the first time. Okay, for the first time. So take note that M30 means that you're computing for the expected amount of time or expected number of transitions that you are in state 3 now. What is the expected amount of time or number of transitions that you will be in state 0 for the first time? Okay, so therefore, if you follow the formula in the previous slide, which is this one, Mij, so let me write it here so that you will see, M30 is equal to 1 plus summation of, again, you have a summation from wherein k is not equal to j, so P I k mkj. So I is 3. So you have P3 and your k should not be equal to 0. So therefore, okay, again, this is your I, this is your j. And here it says that your k should not be equal to j when you do the summation. So it means that your k should not be equal to 0. So you start with state 1. Okay? So therefore, you have P3, 1, and then M1, and your j is 0. Okay? Plus, okay, this is the summation part, no? Plus P3, again, that's PIK, P3, the next state would be state 2. Okay, let me see. You have three states, state 1, 2, and 3. So P32 times M, again, your K is 2, MKJ, so M20. Okay, plus P33 times M30. So your first equation would be this one. Let's check. P31, M10, P32, M20. Okay, you have P31, M10, P32, M20, and P33, M30. And then 1 plus, then M30. Okay, so take note that as you use this formula to compute for the expected first passage time from state 3 to state 0, you will have 1, 2, 3 variables. Okay? P31, of course, is given. What is P31? 3 to 1. That's 0.184. So this is 0.184. P32 is P32 is 0.368. Okay? So you know P31, you know P32, and you know P33. P33 is 0.368 also. Okay, so when you expand this, you have 1 plus 0.184 M10 plus 0.368 M20 plus 0.368 M30. But this equation gives you three unknowns, M10, M20, and M30. So therefore, as I said, this is an iterative formula which requires you to solve or to expand both M30, okay, M20, and M10, okay, to set up three equations, three unknowns, and solve for M10, M20, and M30. So this is exactly what is done in this slide. After writing down the equation for M30 following the formula in the previous slide, okay, which is this equation, it sets up the equation M20, okay, this one, okay, and then the third one will be to set up the equation of M10, following this formula here, okay. So for M20, okay, if you want us to expand this, okay, that would be equal to 1 plus, again, summation, k is not equal to j. So k should not be equal to 0, so you start with 1. So p I is 2 this time. I is 2, k is 1. And then you have m1j. Okay, so this is the summation part. Plus, again, pi, which is I is 2. Okay, and then k is 2. And then m2, okay, and then j is 0. And then plus p I is 2, k is 3, and then m30. So this will be your equation number 2. Okay, and you can check it in the next slide. P21 M10, P22 M20, P21 M10, P22 M20, P23 M30. That's correct. Okay, and do the same for M10. M10 will be equal to 1 plus, okay, following that formula there, except not equal to k, so P11 M1 and then 0 plus P, again, this one is your, following the formula there, you will have P1, that's your I, and then your k is 2, then mk, m2, 0, plus P13, m3, 0. This will be your third equation, this one. So now you have three equations, three unknowns, M10, M20, and M30. Okay, plug in the values for P, all the P's, plug in the values coming from this transition matrix here. Okay, so for the other one that we did, plug in the values for P21, P22, and P23 coming from the transition matrix here. So once you plug in the values for P, you would have a system of equations that will leave M10, M20, M30 as your unknowns. You solve simultaneously, you will get this one. Okay. Actually, what is being asked in this problem is M30 only. So this is your final answer. Okay. So it just tells you that if you are in state 3 now, it would take you on the average 1.58 weeks or 1.58 transitions before you can get to state zero for the first time. Okay. And similarly, if you are in state 2 now, it will take you longer. It will take you 2.51 weeks, okay, or transitions to go to state 0. So if you imagine, if stage 0 is a production manager and you are just an assistant supervisor right now, it takes a longer time for you to get from assistant supervisor to production manager. Whereas if you are a supervisor right now, state 3, okay, then from supervisor to production manager, it takes a shorter time, okay, 1.58 weeks. And if you are just a rank and file, a production helper, maybe that's your state 1, for you to go to state 0 and be a production manager, it would take a longer period, 3.5, maybe the unit of measurement is not weeks, but decades. Okay, 3.5, 35 years maybe before you can get to production manager, or even uh, 3.5 years maybe. Okay, so that is the significance of being able to calculate the mean first expected first passage time. Okay, being in a particular state for the first time, uh, how much time do you actually need to be in that particular state? Okay, so it's just like a company that has a vision, mission to be world class, di ba? So um, first, the goal should be for me to be world class. Dapat pumasok muna ako siguro sa top 5,000 corporations, di ba? So if I am right now ranked 20,000 as a company, okay, it might be worthwhile to ask what is the probability of transitioning from being 20,000 in rank, okay, to being in the top 5,000 for the first time. Okay, how much I can ask the question, what is the chance? Okay, what is the probability that I will be in the top 5,000 corporations for the first time in 10 years? I can ask that probability. On the contrary, I can also ask how much time on the average will it take to take me from rank 20,000 going to rank 5,000 as a company. I need to know that how much time, di ba? Kasi my goal is to be world class. For me to be world class, I will not settle at rank 5,000. I will eventually move up to first top 1,000 corporations in the Philippines, and then top corporation, and then eventually I will have a place in the global market. Diba? So these questions are very important. No? So making these formulas important as well, no, in calculating. And the foundation of all of these formulas really is actually matrices. Okay, as you can see, we deal with matrix multiplication in most of our, if not all of our calculations. And Markov chains, though very limiting in the sense that it assumes that the present is enough to predict the future and that the probability mechanism is stable, it's quite limiting, has its application in predicting sales, predicting market shares on certain contexts, no, or certain circumstances. Okay, but it's still good to know that we can use the concept of Markov for prediction or for forecasting. Okay, so I think I have discussed this already in my earlier slides and notes ko. I have discussed this already. It is irreducible, periodic, ergodic, periodic. I have discussed that. Okay, and I have also discussed this. So let me just summarize. So this is what we have. So for ergodic states, it means that all states are communicate, they are aperiodic, and all states are recurrent. Okay, and therefore steady state probabilities can be computed. Okay, so this is where we are, and I have discussed the two types of Markov chains already. Okay, and for ergodic states, this is the last, okay, before we end this recording. Okay, this is the last. So as long as the process is ergodic, such limits exist. In other words, what we're saying is that as P, the transition matrix, as we calculate the transition matrix after n periods, eventually, okay, the transition will reach a steady state such that, okay, the transition matrix in period n minus 1, okay, if you multiply that by p to get, again, using Chapman-Kolmogorov, if you multiply by p, you will get pn, okay? But if I compare the result of Pn minus 1 and Pn, they are approximately and eventually becomes equal to each other. When that happens, it means that you have reached the steady state. And applications to mathematics, okay, we want now to explore the limits as n approaches infinity. We want to know, okay, at what point, okay, will n actually reach steady state, okay? And therefore, we now calculate this state or this condition as n approaches infinity. What will be the steady state? So I think I have a simpler way to understand it, okay, in my notes. Okay, so we are here. So if you can just switch your frame of thinking or your perspective to uh, our example with the gas stations A, B, and C. Okay, so if we let pi n minus 1, remember pi, we denoted pi as the market share of stations A, B, and C, okay, the different states. So if we let pi I is A, B, and C, the different stations, and n minus 1 is the value of this market share of this process I is simply the state or the market shares, okay, after n minus 1 transitions. And if we let pi I n be the value of process I after n transitions, okay, remember we were computing earlier to get the market share, we simply multiply P with the original state. Okay, so therefore, what happens here is if I want to get the value of process I after n periods, all I have to do is to get the value or the market shares of A, B, and C in the previous period and just multiply with the one-step transition probability. Correct? Diba? So if I have the market share in week 2, okay, and I want to get the market share, this is market share of week 2, and I want to get the market share in week 3, that's just a difference of one period. So I simply multiply the market share in week 2 by the one-step transition matrix to get the market share in week 3. So as n approaches infinity, habang lumalaki na lumalaki yung n, let's say we go to 10 weeks, 20 weeks, 30 weeks, okay? If n is 30 weeks, to get the market share of stations A, B, and C in 30 weeks, I simply multiply the market share in 29 weeks, after 29 weeks, by the one-step transition probability. This is what this equation means. Okay? In other words, if I want to determine the market share for period n, all I need to know is what is the market share in the previous period, which is n minus 1. Multiply that by the one-step transition matrix, which we know, then we will get the market share of A, B, and C in period n. Okay? So what we're saying now is that if the process has reached equilibrium or steady state, then even if I multiply n minus pi n minus 1 by the one-step transition matrix, okay, it will still give me the same value of pi or the same value of market share, such that when process reaches steady state, the value of pi I n minus 1, the market shares of A, B, and C, will just be equal or just be the same as the market shares after n periods. And that will be, this one will now be what you call your steady state market shares or steady state value of your process. Okay, so therefore, the formula to compute steady state is simply pi I, okay, times P equal to pi I, where pi I refers to the original state. Okay, so therefore, the original state times P would be equal to the original state. All right, so when you use this equation, it will produce infinite solutions. Okay, kasi bumabalik ka eh. Bumabalik ka lang. You're using the same matrix. Bumabalik ka lang. So therefore, in order to produce a unique solution, we have what we call a normalizing equation saying that, of course, the market shares of A, B, and C at equilibrium should still be equal to 1. Okay, the total of those market shares or the total of those original states should still be equal to 1. Okay, so these are the two equations that we need to use in order to compute for steady state probabilities. So just looking at your slides, okay, this is the calculation. Okay, so this will be your calculation. So this is an example for an ergodic Markov chain. So this is the one-step transition probability. So if you want to calculate steady state probabilities, then all you have to do is to use this equation or the equation that I gave you earlier. So that would be pi times P equal to pi. Okay, so that will be equal to pi. So let me just put it here. Pi times P equal to pi, where this is your P, right? Now pi is equal to pi 1, okay, pi 2. Again, you have three states, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, pi 1, pi 2, pi 3. You multiply that by your transition matrix 0, 0.333, 0.667, 0.5, 0.333, 0.333, and then 0.5, 0.333, and then 0. Okay, so you multiply that, it should give you pi 1, pi 2, and pi 3. This is your working equation. Okay, so from this one, from this general equation, you go here. Okay, that's your next step. And then you expand. When you expand, you follow matrix multiplication. So therefore, what happens here is 0 times pi, so that's 0, plus 0.33 times pi 2, that's what we have. So 0 plus 0.33 times pi 2 using matrix multiplication plus 0.667 times pi 3, okay, equal to pi 1. So this is your equal to pi 1. And then for your second equation, you take pi 1, pi 2, pi 3, multiply by the second column of P. So you have 0.5 times pi 1. Then you have 0.333 times pi 2. Then you have 0.333 times pi 3. Okay, equal to pi 2. That's the second element there. And last equation would be third column of P times pi 1, pi 2, pi 3. So 0.5 times pi 1 plus 0.3 times pi 2 plus 0 times pi 3, that is 0, equal to pi 3. So that's pi 3. So these are your equations 1, 2, and 3. If you solve this, it will give you infinite solutions. As you can see, you can try it. You will have many possible solutions to this system, and therefore you need itong fourth equation na to, which is your normalizing equation, pi 1 plus pi 2 plus pi 3 equal to 1. Now, solving simultaneously, okay, this system, you will be able to get a steady state probability of pi 1, okay, equal to 0.323, pi 2 equal to 0.387, and pi 3 equal to 0.29. In other words, if you have a system or a process where you have three states, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3, that transitions from one to another, okay? All of them are recurrent states. They transition from one to another. And then, if you compute them, okay, the steady state, in the long run, you will see that A will go back to itself 0.323 times, 32.3% of the time. And then state 2, okay, will have 38.7% after all the transitions have been considered. Okay, steady state na yan. And then state 3, 29%. You can think of it as market share para mas mabilis nyo maintindihan. Okay, so therefore this will be the steady state or long run probabilities. Okay, so that's the sample computation. So again, referring to example 1, you're asked to find the steady state market share, long run market share of each service station. Letter B, how many weeks on the average it will take a customer to go back for the first time. And letter C, how many weeks on the average it will take customer from station A to become a customer of station C for the first time. So for letter A, you're being asked to compute pi. For letter B, you're being asked to compute M. Remember, the question is how many weeks, no? Time on the average. Tapos, to go back to station C for the first time. So this is the expected time to move from I to J. So this is MCC. You're being asked to to compute MCC, which is the time to go back, expected time to go back to C for the first time. And for letter C, you're being asked to compute for you're in station A now to become a customer of C. So MAC for the first time. Okay. So given the lecture, I would just make this as your assignment to be able to compute the steady state market shares for uh, for the three service stations A, B, and C, and to compute MCC and MAC. Okay, so just to check, your final answers should be equal to, for letter A, pi A should be equal to 0.2571, so that you'll have a reference, no, if tama yung sagot nyo. Pi B should be equal to 0.2857, and pi C should be equal to 0.4571. For letter B, MCC, the final answer is 2.1875 weeks. Okay, and then for letter C, MAC is equal to 4.375 weeks. And I forgot to tell you that MII has a special formula, and that is equal to 1 over the steady state probability of state I. Okay, you can also use this to solve for MCC.